Hey, hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. About a week ago, I released a video on F is for Family talking about the relationship between Frank Murphy and his father, William. In this video, I went over the various ways William abused Frank as a child and harshly condemned them all. Well, all but one. During Frank's play when he was a child, William heckled Frank while on stage in an attempt to cover for what William thought was an embarrassing situation. Doing so made Frank panic and forget his lines, which made William heckle him even more. This was an action I gave a little leeway to. While I still think what William did was wrong because A, he completely misread the situation, and B, didn't consider how his son would feel being publicly heckled, which as a father is his job to do, I wasn't willing to call it bullying, the reason being that William's intentions were not coming from a bad place. Essentially, I was willing to condemn William for being reckless with his heckling, but not for the heckling itself. Despite me saying what William did was wrong, the fact that I didn't consider heckling as a form of bullying just because of good intent didn't sit well with a lot of you intellectuals. Considering the amount of people who had a problem with this and the fact that it's very good book club material, I decided that a small video going into detail about this argument was worth making. First, let's define some terms. When I say heckling, I'm talking about openly making fun of someone. Teasing might actually be a better word, but heckling is what was used, so heckling is what we'll stick with. And when talking about bullies, we're talking about people who use their supposed superiority to make others feel inferior, usually as an effort to get something they want or to establish hierarchy. Now, if I wanted to, I could easily say that, hey, these two definitions are not the same, thus concluding that the words themselves are different, basically taking a semantics route. But I think doing that misses the point and belittles the actual argument being made. Bullying is seen by modern society as an overall bad thing. We've had a war on bullies in school for quite some time, and ever since the 80s, bullies are constantly shown in children's media as an example of what we shouldn't be like, or what we should be fighting against. When people say heckling is bullying, it's not necessarily because they think these two words have the exact same definition, but because it's easy to believe they share the same spirit. One of, if not the, most common tool used to bully someone is to heckle them. However, my argument to that is, just like any tool, that simply means the purpose it's being used for is bad, not the tool itself. I got comments that were genuinely concerned when I said heckling is a form of bonding for me and my family, which, if I'm being honest, baffles me. I see friends, couples, families, etc. poking fun at each other so much, it's very difficult for me to believe that anyone in Western civilization has never been in a situation where everyone heckles each other for fun. Shoot, it's shown all the time in sitcoms. You know what's another common tool bullies use? Violence. But we don't condemn two people in a boxing ring or a couple of boys playfully wrestling with each other. In the same way that violence is bullying depending on the situation, so is heckling. Now the second part to the opposing argument is, sure, maybe William wasn't trying to be a bully, but the important thing was Frank felt bullied, and that's the only thing that matters. To that, I somewhat agree, but I also somewhat disagree. I agree that Frank's emotions in this specific circumstance are the more important aspect because this entire situation could have been avoided if William had simply been more considerate. However, I am not comfortable with putting that in the same category as bullying. I will condemn what William did, but for different reasons than I condemn a bully. The problem with saying whether or not a person becomes a bully is determined by how the reciprocant of their action feels is that it turns literally any action into one that's condemnable. If someone tells their kid, "I love you," and they mean it, but their kid is an angsty teen who feels bullied by those words, do we then treat the parent as an abuser of power? In just about any situation where we're going to condemn someone, I almost never approve of doing so based solely on how the victim feels. That's pretty much asking for a guilty until proven innocent scenario. Not only that, but what if someone intentionally tries hurting your feelings, but they fail at it? By this logic, such a person is not a bully despite malicious intent. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Intent, in my opinion, is an extremely important part when making moral judgments on someone. A person with good intentions just made a bad choice and is more likely willing to change, but a person with bad intentions did it on purpose and will do it again. I'm more likely to forgive the one with good intentions. Of course, this is just talking about morality here. Legality is a whole other can of worms. Personally, I like heckling far too much to lump it in the same category as bullying. No, I don't mean I like making fun of people. I mean, I do like making fun of people, but that's not what I mean by that statement. What I mean is, some of my fondest memories and deepest bonds are of me and my loved ones just making fun of each other. Because when we do that, we're not trying to put each other down or outcast each other. We just want to make each other laugh, and that's special to me. I like making people laugh. I like that people try to make me laugh. And while I agree that you should consider the feelings of those around you if you're trying to heckle, I don't like treating someone with good intentions the same as someone with bad intentions. We should always be willing to consider everyone's perspectives, not just the victims. This has been Shady Doorags. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.